Hey guys, welcome to the Stamp Show. This is season 2, episode 2, and I've got Phil from PDS here. Hey Phil, how's it going?
Hey, Tom, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Looking forward to today's conversation. As a gateway node test participant, definitely honored to have you on and talk about what's going on at Permanent Data Solutions.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to chatting with you about some of this stuff, Tom. It's an honor to be on the Stamp Show. Big fan.
Thank you. So, what is Permanent Data Solutions? Because that's kind of new in the Arweave community.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think new in the RE community, we just changed our email addresses to @PDS Inc. So it's kind of our new, the team's kind of new public image. But looking back, PDS was always there, right? So when I quit my job, in the summer of 2020, one of the first things I had to do was make a company, right? For a lot of reasons. Even though I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with ardrive and where it was going to go, I still needed to make a company. So I made an LLC first, which was not the right company structure, but thought long and hard about, what should the name be? Should it be ardrive, right? Like that was the first app that we launched. And I thought, well, maybe the company name should be ardrive, but I figured make it more broad, make it maybe a little more enterprisey sounding, kind of a little more formal, right? My background is I used to work at KPMG. I was a consultant for many years. So like just a little bit more formal sounding of a title for a company name. And I figured, well, we're building stuff for Arweave. We're building solutions, all kinds of things for Arweave specifically, like really trying to be laser focused on the perma web. And well, what is Arweave? It's permanent data. So Permanent Data Solutions. So that was always kind of the name. My paycheck, right, comes from Permanent Data Solutions. And we just got to this point where, again, we started with ardrive, and then we kind of went down the road of RIO. We're still going down these different roads. And we realized, well, we're not the ardrive team because we're now doing RIO as well. And well, if you remember, we had an article, we're the RIO team. Well, RIO is really protocol, right? It's a network of nodes that are following this protocol. It's a currency. It's a lot of things that really aren't just the core team. Similar to, I think, Arweave, right, has gone through this transition of, oh, well, they're not the Arweave team. They're forward research. Arweave is an ecosystem. It's a platform, right? So we kind of went, again, that round ended up coming back full circle to just being like, well, we're Permanent Data Solutions. We're building all these different decentralized technologies and protocols and platforms, whatever. But the company is Permanent Data Solutions. So we're embracing that a bit more. And hopefully this is the last kind of name change that we go through, but we'll see.
Very, very cool. So basically, it's the company that is working on RIO and ardrive and RNS and more. I'm sure.
Exactly.
Um,
Yep.
Very, very, very cool. That makes a lot of sense, and it's nice to have the @PDS because 3 characters. It's a nice email address.
Short domain name. I'm a
Right.
sucker for a good domain name. If you can.
That's awesome. Well, you guys have released a lot of stuff in, I would say, the last 6 weeks. One of the things that's near to dear to my heart is the open sourcing of the gateway nodes. Do when you announced it, I think I sent a tweet saying I expect to have 100 nodes up by the end of the year. Do you want to reflect on that experience of just open
Yeah.
sourcing something as like core infrastructure to this community and
Yeah.
how that has gone to date?
Yeah. I mean, it's been tremendous, and it's really been a long time coming. And yeah, in general, last 6 weeks, I do feel like we've released a lot of stuff, whether RIO or ardrive. I mean, on the ardrive side, there's like 3 or 4 releases a week now, and it's mind blowing to just see like when a team really gels, you can do a lot of things. For RIO and the gateways, yeah, I mean, open source software has really become one of the core values of PDS. Right, we open source all the stuff we do. A lot of times when I'm building something, for better or worse, like, oh yeah, it's always public. by default. And RIO and Arweave gateways was really important because when you look at the history of Arweave, gateways were kind of always there, right? There was the gateway in the Arweave node, and I tried operating that with RQL, and it was like, okay, kind of works. Kind of, it wasn't quite there, and an app like ardrive might not have worked the way it did, way back when. And then gateways evolved a bit and went into AWS from the forward research side, and there were some other attempts at building open source gateway networks. The one name is escaping me right now. I can't remember that one. But then there was Vartex, right, which was again just meant to be like, here's a standalone gateway that's easy to run. And it was a hard problem to kind of solve because it was really different pieces of functionality all in one server, all in one piece of infrastructure, right? Because the gateway is doing indexing, it's doing caching, it's proxying transactions and requests for Arweave nodes, it's serving names and resolving them, it's doing a lot of things. So it took us a while to kind of get there. And huge kudos to our engineering team for building something that's very extensible, very easy to modify, and super scalable, whether running it on a really small device like my little, I don't know if you can see this, my Raspberry Pi here, it's still chugging along, nice. Or in a big cloud, right, scaling out. So yeah, the fact that we were able to finally release that and be like, hey, everyone, please go try it out, see if it makes sense, was a gigantic milestone. One of the goals for RIO was to reduce the barrier of entry for running a gateway. It was really hard. Now it's really, really easy. So like kind of within that year, we checked one of the huge boxes for RIO goals. And now, even though I've been running them for a long time, I didn't develop much of the code base for RIO. I've been more on the operations side and testing it out. So again, this is something that like I've been playing with, and I was just super excited to finally have other people try out. And again, it's easy to set up, and the testnet has shown that it's easy to set up. Some things do require maybe some learning, like if you have been deploying other blockchain nodes or validators, you might not have had to buy a domain name before or deal with setting up an A record or getting a certificate. And Tom, I know you're familiar with these things and have really, good expertise in them. What we've seen so far is some other people coming in from other ecosystems don't have that. But outside of that, deploying the node, super painless. And I think as of now, we have over 200 gateways in the test net. So I think that's a testament to how easy it is to set up, as well as again, kudos to my team for providing that support to the community, and a lot of conversation in the Discord. But it's been monumental to see and keep going through this journey.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Again, I know that it's created a lot of people coming in interested in, and I think people that are not necessarily very familiar with Arweave coming in, which is cool. But one of the kind of side projects of that that I just installed recently and started using is Wayfinder. You want to spend a few minutes talking about Wayfinder?
Yeah, and Wayfinder is one of those things where, and I imagine you probably feel this, Tom, as well, but it's one of those things where I'm like, man, I'm so like appreciative for being an entrepreneur and a founder and all this stuff, because I get to just work on things like that, like brand new things, brand new ideas, just create them, 0 to 1 kind of thing. So Wayfinder was just as a result of me laying on the couch late at night, really thinking like, man, how do we get the permaweb out to more people? Like, what are the hindrances, right? What are the blockers? And just thinking like, okay, well, a lot of people just read the internet. You're not writing. Okay, if you're not writing data to the permaweb, you don't need a wallet. Okay, so thinking, okay, well, still, how do you get something out to these people? Well, maybe there's just a simple little extension to showcase how AR:// could work, and you don't need a wallet, and it should be really easy. And it just kind of works kind of thing. I'm like, all right, well, that's cool, but I don't know how to develop an extension. And I know RConnect, and we work with community labs very closely on some of this stuff too, but RConnect is also trying to explore getting AR colon slash slash. So I'm like, well, I can't, how am I going to do that? Lo and behold, it's the year 2023, and Chat GPT is super duper easy to use. And when it comes to Chrome extensions, top notch. So highly recommend, again, going 0 to 1 with an app, Chat GPT and tools like it. My gosh. So anyway, turn to that, gave it some nice requirements. Honestly, the name Wayfinder, ChatGPT, give me some names for what this extension could use. I didn't come up with that, right? ChatGPT gave me a whole bunch of names, and I picked it. But yeah, within a few long weekend nights, was able to come up with the first version to show how, sure, you have a list of gateways and you're putting in AR colon slash slash. It's this new, routing protocol, I guess. We're trying to come up with good definitions for it, but the purpose is you shouldn't need to know the top level domain of any piece of content that you're trying to access on the permaweb, right? All you should need to know is the transaction ID or the friendly name. And Wayfinder was just meant to be a really easy little extension that just showed how this could work. So then other apps, whether it's a wallet in the Arweave ecosystem or outside, or a browser, or a piece of infrastructure somewhere, anything could leverage this AR colon slash slash protocol and direct users to any gateway that is supporting it. So that was kind of like literally I jumped out of the couch when I had that idea of just like simple app, no wallet to just install, and you get AR colon slash slash and some other maybe nice features like showing the GAR and the list of gateways. Figure most users, they're not going to care about that. Who's looking up what DNS servers you connect to, right? You just wanted the fastest one, But that was the purpose of Wayfinder. We have, I think, 9 versions later. Maybe 70-ish people have installed it, which is like super cool. This little alpha thing, people are trying it out. Appreciate you installing it, Tom.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just now released functionality. So even in HTML pages, right, you can put links or references to AR colon slash slash, and Wayfinder will translate those to the fastest gateway that it's now pulling from this RIO testnet. So there's over 200 gateways now that can resolve your RNS name, or 200 gateways that can resolve your transaction ID. Not necessarily all the way there with doing, full GQL indexing of all layer 2 data on all of these gateways, but for data access, Wayfinder makes it really easy to just access anything on the permaweb in a pretty decentralized way.
The AR stroke or colon stroke in the web page is very cool. So I'm a really big fan of that, because when you're building permanent documentation, putting URL links to a specific host, well, that host may not be there. So I think that's a huge boon to creating permanent documentation. If you can put links and they have the AR colon slash slash, then the client can find the current AR nodes of the day, if you will.
Yeah, and like it's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what the client can do in terms of checking the network, understanding where to route to, looking at things like the stake of a given gateway, its properties, how long it's been online. In the future, there will be even more details around like, well, how much rewards is this gateway earning from the network? Have they been good or bad, kind of thing. So yeah, really trying to make it so that the client can do all these things all in the background in a given app. Again, you shouldn't have to rely on somebody else to tell you where to go. You should, like, you have that option, sure. But again, we firmly believe for a true, like, kind of decentralized network, each client should be able to determine that themselves. And the goal is, in Brave or Chrome or, whatever different browsers to have. We've been playing around with the name. Curious to get your thought on this, Tom. ARCs, because it's literally like AR colon slash slash. I don't know if that's like a good name, the ARCs protocol, but I'm trying to get it embedded in a browser versus install an extension, trust this extension, so on.
Right.
So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, very, very cool. And I think, as more gateways come out and this kind of becomes a a common way to access it, then hopefully browser vendors will pay attention and
Yeah,
see the value. But I know there's a ton to talk about, but before we wrap up, I just wanted to talk about the ardrive Turbo SDK that was just launched,
yeah,
especially for developers. So if I have this right, I can use that SDK to effectively bundle my files and send a bundled set of data to Arweave. Is that correct?
you got it. Whether that's in your Node.js app or your web app, you would be able to use the SDK to send data items or send what we call BDIs, which are bundled data items. So you can send bundles to Turbo, and Turbo will bundle up those bundles and get them on chain. You'd benefit from some of the subsidies that we are offering on Turbo. So files under 500 kilobytes are free. We just added the capability for coupon code. So, our marketing team is exploring that. So if you're lucky to see some of the tweets or maybe get one of our newsletters, you might have a coupon code that you can use on Turbo, which of course, if you're using the SDK, is also applicable. We're trying to see if maybe there's the need for a referral program. So again, SDK, if you're developers, right, you can refer your other developer friends to use Turbo. And the other cool thing that the SDK gives you is the ability to um, instantiate a Stripe checkout. So like right now to top up, you have to go in the ardrive app. There's no like little standalone web app. But with the SDK, you can basically generate one of these Stripe checkout links. You get a little UI, and through Stripe's site, you can buy the amount of credits you want and top up that way. So you don't have to like leave what you're doing or your developer environment to go into ardrive, log in, synchronize your stuff to top up. So yeah, we're really excited to see who uses it. We're going to be putting it in the ardrive CLI and the ardrive core JS as well. So then ardrive gets the full benefits of Turbo. And yeah, it would be cool to see if maybe some of your apps use it in some way, Tom.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Especially uploading a large amount of data to be able to allow users to pay via Stripe and then go to the app and upload data. I think is a game changer for creators who want to you know list content on a permanent data store, but frankly, a lot of this crypto stuff confuses the heck out of them. So I think that's incredible. So
Yeah.
so um, yeah, you guys have been cranking, and all of this is super good stuff. Any other things that I missed, or things you want to catch the development community up on?
Yeah, I mean, the only other comment maybe around RNS, right? The name
Yep.
system, as we were, just saying before, like our focus has been more on the gateways and providing resiliency for the names. Like last year, it's been over a year since we started the RNS pilot. Very long pilot going on, right? Um, and yeah, the focus shifted from like just get it out there to all right, now let's build the network and make sure this is the most resilient decentralized domain name system out there, which again 200 different domains that you'll be able to get your name from so far in the test net. Like that's pretty resilient. But now our focus is more back on the users of RNS. So one of the things that hopefully soon, we'll maybe be debuting the little RNS app that we built where you can go and search for names, buy them, manage them. I know there's already some really great apps out there now that let users buy and search for managed names, right? Permapages, I
Yeah.
think Drag and Deploy is also another one. Maybe some other teams are exploring that concept of like, hey, if you're allowing creators to upload your data here, just let them buy a name or manage their name where they're dealing with their content. But we also decided, yeah, it'd still be good to have a nice app to showcase, the RNS experience. And, we're not sure where it'll go, but we wanted something, that will be a really good UX for people. So maybe that gets tested out in the public soon. If you were really sneaky, you might already know what the URL is. You might be looking at our smart contract for the testnet and seeing some of the other RNS stuff in there. Not going to get into it now, but yeah, lots of fun things to come there before we ultimately launch the mainnet for RIO. So yeah, we haven't forgotten about RNS and the people who are benefiting from these names.
Yeah, that's super cool, and that's again, all of these are like critical unlocks, and that's a definite huge unlock, and it sounds exciting. I think hopefully we can revisit this conversation when those things actually launch and go deeper into that. I think that would be very, very cool.
Season 3 of Stamps. I'll be on it.
That's right. All right, Phil. Well, thanks again for your time, and hope you have a great day. And again, great job to you and your team for all of this incredible stuff. And I'll drop a link in the Discord for anyone that's interested to check out RIO and gateways. And definitely, I encourage everyone that's using Arweave to load Wayfinder and check out the short names. It really has a great ergonomic feel when you start using it. So awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you,
Phil.
Tom. It's a pleasure. Appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right.